Okay, so the miter saw, I'm going to start with number 1, alright? I'll go through the rules here. Operate with instructor permission. After received instruction, you're getting your instruction right now, okay? When you go to use this machine, I want you to come ask me, say, hey, Mr. Martinson, can I use a miter saw? And I'll tell you, yeah, as long as you pass the test 100%. Okay, I just want to make sure that you guys, I know where people are at, and there's not everybody running around everywhere using machines. Okay, so just ask me to use it, and I'll say yeah. Okay. 2, remove jewelry, eliminate loose clothing, and confine long hair. So long hair should probably tie up. You don't want to be standing right here making a cut and have the hair come down in the path of the saw. That would probably not feel too good. Jewelry, you know, if you're wearing a watch or wearing earrings or whatever, I mean, that's fine, obviously. You know, rings, that's okay, I can deal with that. Any kind of loose, dangly stuff, though, you might tuck it in or put it away or something. I especially don't want to see you guys, I know it's a cool thing to do, but I don't want to see you guys using it with the iPod headphones dangling out of your shirt, okay, or they could get hung up, because you're going to be standing here like this, kind of leaned over the machine. I don't want those things dangling around, okay? Tuck it into your shirt, put it in your backpack, your pocket, whatever. Just get them out of the way. I don't want to see them out there and using it, okay? Because that could be a hazard. And loose clothing, right? Just normal stuff like you guys have on now is fine. We just don't want any super loose, baggy things that could get caught up in anything. So, 3, make sure all guards are in place and operating correctly. This is our main guard to worry about. Before you use the machine, come up to it. Just kind of move it down like that to make sure it's going to track properly. Okay, if it's not, like I said earlier, come talk to me. 4, use proper eye protection, so glasses, always, okay? No questions asked. When you're using the machine in here, your glasses are on. When everybody else is using machines in here and you guys are sitting at the workbench, glasses are on, okay? So, no questions asked on that one. That's just how it is. 5, be sure power is disconnected before making angle adjustments or changing blades. Okay, well, I'm going to change the blade, so you guys don't have to worry about that. But making angle adjustments, okay? Especially bevel. I want us to unplug it, like I said earlier, because we're going to be probably grabbing the saw right here, loosening this. If for some reason we just hit the on-off switch by accident, and it's going to wake us up, okay? Maybe cause an accident. So please unplug it. Okay, if you're making a miter angle adjustment, I don't mind if you leave it plugged in, because everything you do is going to be right here. You're not going to be getting anywhere near the on-off switch. You can go right here, make your miter adjustment, and you're done. You're ready to line up and make the cut. Okay, but bevel, I would like you to unplug it. Okay. 6, always hold work firmly against the fence and the table. Like I said earlier, we have to be tight against the fence. We have to be tight against the table. Okay, this is not good. Okay, this is not good. Okay, we gotta be tight. Okay, and remember, we don't have to be against both sides of the fence. If we have a big piece we're trying to cut off and we're against both sides, that's fine. But if we're just cutting a little bit off an end and just the left side ends up there, that's fine. Okay, that's perfectly fine. Make sure you're butted up tight against that fence. 7, install a new table if support's been cut away. Well, no worries there. This guy right here sometimes will get a little bit chewed up. Cutting off small pieces might get dinged up. Sometimes cutting compound angles, it might get dinged up if something's loose, but this is in good shape, so you don't have to worry about that. Allow the motor to reach full speed before you start your cut. Okay. What people do a lot of times, especially if they're new to using a machine, maybe they're a little bit nervous, which is understandable. But they'll come down, they'll get it lined up, go to make their cut, and then they'll get the saw blade right above the blade, turn on, just mash it in there right away. Okay, well, the saw blade's still trying to get up to full speed, and that's hard on the saw. Okay, what I want you to do is I want you to get the saw lined up where you want to cut. Everything tightened down like I showed you guys, and then I want us to turn it on and let it get to full speed. Once it gets to full speed, I'll throw your glass on real quick. So I'm looking good for the video here. You hear that high-pitched whine? That's full speed. Okay, so just lift it up. Once you clamp it down and once you line it up, okay, it's going to be lined up where you want to make your cuts. There's no reason to get the saw blade right down here because it's not going to move on you. Okay, then lift it up here out of the way, turn it on, let it get to full speed. You'll hear that high-pitched whine. Then you can come right down and you can make your cut. Okay, but it happens all the time. People will And just go right here, turn it on, and mash it right into there just because they're nervous. And I can get being nervous, but, you know, it's hard on the machine when you do that. And you can tell by the sound of it, too. You'll hear it kind of bog down a little bit as it's trying to cut. And I can tell if someone has, you know, has done that. So that's how I'd like you to get it started. We talked about number 9. Doesn't apply, so don't worry about that. And then just once again, number 10, be sure the guard parts are functioning correctly, which we already talked about. Okay? So there are 3 cuts you can make with this saw. I want you to write this down. Okay? The first cut is a straight or 90-degree cut, which is how it's set up to do right now. I'm just cutting the board straight off, okay, to a certain length, straight or 90 degrees. You can call it either way. Okay. The second cut you can make is a miter cut. M-I-T-E-R. That's if we're cutting an angle across the width of the board. So, like I showed you earlier, here, find your angle, lock it down. Now I'd be making my angle cut across the width. That's a miter cut. And the last cut you can make with this thing, okay, or that we're going to make with it anyways, is a bevel cut. Okay, and bevel, as you remember, is going to be an angle cut that is coming down through the width of the board like that. Okay? Those are the main 3 that we are going to make. Another note for you guys to put down, okay, is that the miter saw is for cross-cutting only. And what is cross-cutting? Cross-cutting is cutting across the grain. Okay, cutting across the grain. So here's the grain, all these little lines, right? We are only cutting across the grain with the miter saw. We are not cutting with the grain. That's called ripping. And that's done on the table saw, which we will talk about later. Okay, so only cross-cutting. And then lastly, when you make a cut with this thing, whether you're right-handed or left-handed, I want you to always stand on the left-hand side of the table. Okay, left-hand side of the table, making your cut like this. You can look right down and see where you're cutting. Okay, and if something kicks back, it's going to go out there. If you're standing right here in line with it, if something kicks back, it might end up going towards you. Okay, so that's why I want you standing on the left-hand side of the saw when you make a cut. All right. Any questions? No? Okay, I think we'll call that good.
Okay, call that a wrap.
So tomorrow we only got about like 2 minutes left.